Hello, everyone. My name is Clifton Johnson, and welcome to our viewers in the United States and around the world. Today, September 30th, is my birthday. So I want to thank you for joining me today, and you are watching the Empower Series podcast. Now, as you know, the Empower Series podcast is where we give hope, inspiration, education, and connecting you to resources to help you achieve your personal, professional, or financial goals. So stay tuned, connect with us on our social media accounts. But in the meantime, what we're going to talk about today on my birthday is a little bit about my thoughts. On Saturday, September 30th of 1961, I was born to Tyrell Joseph Johnson and Ida Louise Lloyd Johnson. If you can count, you can see that I'm 63 years old. However, I'm going to share with you some ideas that I have, some thoughts that I've had today. I'm going to talk about the short that we recently posted by Dr. Dennis Kimbro. I'm going to talk about this website that I look at every day, which is called greatday.com. It's a daily motivational website that I look at. I'm also going to share with you two books that I have worn out. So I've got the worn out versions as well as the version where you can actually read the title. So I'm going to talk to you about those two books. And then I'm going to share with you 8 habits that if you implement in your life today, these 8 habits, you will be able to do much more in your 60s and beyond than you ever have done before in your younger years. So it's a myth when they say your best years are behind you. No. Your best years are ahead of you. So I'm going to talk to you about all of those things. But as I always suggest that you do or ask that you do, please don't keep us a secret. Share us with someone else because there's somebody in your circle that can benefit and be blessed by hearing this message today. I would tell you to share our link. We should be on Facebook and YouTube. At least those two. We might expand it later to Instagram, but those 2 platforms we're on. So please share the link. You can watch us now while it's live, or you can also watch us later on. And I have the live chat up. So my girl Charmaine and Ella, thank you for wishing me happy birthday. Thank you, Charmaine. You're my girl. This is my real estate agent. And Shavandra Smith, thank you for wishing me a happy birthday as well. I do want this to be a dialogue, okay, because I'm going to share some ideas and some thoughts, but I think collectively, all of us is greater than any one of us. So please share your thoughts and ideas as I share mine with yours. And thank you again for joining in this evening with me, and we're going to have some fun. So not only because it's my birthday, we're just going to have some fun because today we woke up and we're already winning, right? Because Michael Collier says, hey, when you wake up, you already are winning. And if we just think about all of the things that we have to be grateful for, man, we'll be like thanking God all day, right? Because we are so blessed no matter where we are. So thank you for joining us. And I'm going to just dive into some of my ideas. I shared with you in the very beginning that there's a short that we recently posted by Dr. Dennis Kimbro. And that's on our YouTube page, it's on our Facebook page, and it's also on our Instagram page. And I want to share this short with you because it's an excerpt from a program that he did in 2017. And for those of you who don't know who Dr. Dennis Kimbro is, I'm going to introduce him to you later on in the program. But if you have a chance to click on that link, and all of the links and references that I'm going to talk about is below the video in the description section. So if you're not looking at it now, definitely go back and look at it later. But I'm going to share with you some of the points that he made in the short. First off, and the first point is simply this. You can never, ever, ever be concerned about what people say, think, or do. You can't. You just can't, right? And then he also says, ideas come from our Creator knocking on our subconscious, asking us, do we want more out of life? So think about that. One of the principles of the Empower Series is to help us be better steward of our ideas. Ideas, our time, and our resources, which are more precious than any amount of material stuff we have. So if we're better stewards of our ideas, it would dictate how we spend our time, and it would dictate who we spend our time with. And as a result of that, what we want in this physical world will manifest around us. Well, not manifest by us sleeping on the couch and eating a bologna sandwich, but manifest by us putting forth effort and acting on those ideas, being a better steward. So he says, ideas are, inspirations from God knocking on our subconscious saying, hey, do you want more out of life? It's yours if you just go at it. And so he says, God can only do for us what we are willing to allow him to do through us. You hear me on that? He says, God can only do for us what we are allowing him to do through us. And he says, hey, God is electricity. but we're the lamp. So when we're going to turn on our light and shine. He also says, you can play around with it, but time is precious. He says the normal lifespan is around 77 years old. That's probably for men. Women are much older, more like 82. And he says if you do the calculus, 30,000 days is what we have. That's really 82 years old. If it's 77 years that we'll be living, it's really only 28,000, just over 28,000 days. But that's all we've got. So time is not running out. Time is not running out, but our life is. And we do not know how much time we got left. So the question is, what are we going to do with the rest of the life we have left? What are we going to do with it, right? He says, hey, you got the keys to the car. Where are you driving? What you going to do? So he talked to me about that after he did the program in 2017. And also Dr. George Fraser told me, do not let anybody waste your time because we don't know how much time we get. And once it's wasted, you'll never get it back. So with that being said, I want to just start off with some of your thoughts about what I just shared with you. I see that Bridget, what's up? What's up? Thank you for wishing me happy birthday, Bridget. Oh, yeah, look, thank you for what you do, right? But I share that with you because that resonated with me, the short that Dr. Dennis Kimbro did or said and we posted. And it made me think about, okay, what do I want to do with the rest of my life? And that was back in 2017, and that really prompted me to quit my job and actually do the Empower series full time in 2018. I'll talk to you more about that, learning from failure. I wasn't able to really grow it to the level that I wanted, that it needed to grow to hire employees, which is a vision of mine still. And I had to go back to work in 2020, but I'm back in, I'm diving all in again. I wanted to grow because I definitely want the Empower series to continue to grow when I pass this baton of an idea to the next steward. But again, I wanted to share that with you because it resonated with me. I hope it resonates with you. Listen to it and know that you should never be concerned about what people think, say, or do about you. Your ideas are, again, the source of our ideas are coming from, our God, the higher being, and we need to be better stewards of them because when we act on them with courage and boldness, they will manifest themselves. But we got to do the work, and we can't waste our time. And we have to really let our light shine. So whatever that calling is in you, I always say that there's 8.12 billion people in the world, and each one of them are unique, and we all have a message and a purpose that we need to fulfill. And the world is waiting on us. People are waiting for us to touch their lives. People are waiting for us to give them a message. There are people who are listening to this right now who are meant to hear what I'm saying to you and hear my experiences so that they can take a different look at their life and then have the courage to step out and pursue their purpose with passion. But we're all a work in progress because nobody's perfect. I have doubts sometimes, and I just got to work through them and act in spite of them. But I wanted to start with that short with Dr. Dennis Kimbro because it really resonated with me. And this is my birthday. So what did I do for today? I just, the other thing that today is what's called a hump day for me. For those of you who know, I was diagnosed with prostate cancer back in, the end of 2023, and I just started radiation treatment on September 4th. So today, y'all, is hump day. What does that mean? I have 35 radiation treatments, and today was treatment number 18. So as of Friday, I did 17 treatments. Today is my hump day. I got 17 in the future, and then I'm done. So I'm so excited about today being my hump day. So I want to celebrate hump day, hump day, hump day, hump day, and my birthday. All right. So that was a unique thing. I wake up every day. I look at this motivational website called greatday.com. So in addition to me following my routine and thanking God for waking me up, I look at this greatday.com website, and I'm going to share with you what the message was today. Because the message today was choose enrichment. Choose enrichment. Life is good, and we can make it better. It also says that some activities are truly enriching, while others are merely comfortable, some are habitual, some are downright destructive. But take note of which is which, and choose enrichment as much as you can. And I know every day is a choice, right? Because Les Brown says that life is a battle over the territory of our mind, which means that we can choose what we think about. and there's negativity coming at us all day. We got to fight to not let that win, and focus on the things that are uplifting, that are positive, and that will help enrich other people's lives. Because it also says, in addition to that, when we act to enrich other people's lives, our own lives are enriched. So the more enrichment we spread around, the more everybody has, including us. So is your current direction providing meaningful enrichment in the world? If so, keep on going, be strong. And if not, look at how you can change your course. Whatever your past is, whatever your situation is, today is the day for enrichment. Go ahead and make it happen. So that was the motivation, that was the message for today, and I thought it was so perfect. Every day is a good message, but on my birthday, I'm going to save that one. So we're going to choose to enrich. So the purpose of this podcast today, as I just have a conversation with you, so I definitely want to be engaging in the chat here, is just to have a conversation about some things that I've thought about today. And in reflecting on my past 62 years, not all 62 years, but my past years, what have been the impactful things that have inspired me, that are encouraging me to keep going, despite all of my failures and the challenges, because look, nobody's life is easy, and the road to success is always under construction. And so I'm going to share two books with you that has inspired me. And then, like I said before, I'm going to share with you on one of the books is Dr. Dennis Kimbro's book, Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice. And I'm going to tell you about the 10 takeaways. And then I'm going to talk about the 8 habits that if we all apply now, no matter what age you are going to do much more in the future and the years you have ahead of you, regardless of the quantity of years versus the years that are behind. So the first book I'm going to share with you is this book here. You can probably not even read it right now because the cover is so torn. The back cover is off of it. But it's called The Answer to Happiness, Health, and Fulfillment in Life. The Holy Bible. Psych, got you right. So this Holy Bible has been worn and it's got me through so much. It gives me my moral compass, my ethical compass. It's helped me in my relationships because when you have the relationship with Jesus Christ, in alignment and on point, then every other relationship in the world would help out. It's also helped me define my purpose and meaning and clarify that. And it also gives me wisdom and guidance. So I just wanted to share with you that this book is what I got probably back in the late 80s. But this is the book that is my brother's book. It was given to him by one of his Narcotics Anonymous organizations because in 1994, we found him in a hospital almost dead. He was homeless from 1988 to 1994. And we found him in the hospital. I didn't know if he was going to die or not. And a big biker guy with a big beard came in and shared with him the Serenity Prayer. And my brother at 36 years old never heard of that prayer before. But that was a prayer that turned his life around. From that day, he never touched narcotics or any type of drug. And he changed his life around within a year. He got married, adopted 2 children. One of the children is married now, has her first child. And the other, that's his daughter. And then his son got a promotion. He's a physical trainer, got a promotion. He manages the physical trainers at a fitness center. And he's doing well for himself too. But Taro, my brother, passed away in 2020 of COVID, and this is his Bible. And I was just surprised that he got the same Bible that I got. And now I can actually read it because the pages are not all worn and torn. So I wanted to share that with you. So that was the first book that really has impacted me and is helping me even as I continue to go through this journey of life. And the second book is a book that's called Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice. So as you can see, this book is kind of worn and stuff too. I started reading this book in the 1990s, and this is what it actually looks like, Dr. Dennis Kimbro. And I'm sharing this book with you because when I had the idea of the Empower series, I actually reached out to Dr. Dennis Kimbro and asked him to be our keynote speaker. So if you go to our YouTube channel and you search Dr. Dennis Kimbro in Empower series SMU, you'll see our program that started in March of 2011. he came out and he gave a very inspiring talk about Think and Grow Rich, a Black choice. What I want to tell you about that book, let me look at, ready for this message, so on time for me. Oh, Ella, thank you. I'm glad this message is on time for you. Hey, this message is always on time for me. I read these books over and over again. As you can tell, it's worn, but it's not, the purpose of reading these books is not just to read it and put it down. The purpose is to read it and apply it in your life, and that is always a work in progress. There's so much I need to continually apply to my life and practice until I succeed, practice until I win. So that being said, I want to talk to you about the 10 takeaways from this book, because the principles that we talk about in the Empower series has a lot to do with the principles in the Bible, as well as the principle in any book that I've read that I always tie back to the Bible. So the first principle in the book, Think and Grow Rich, is that he talks about the power of desire. Like, we all got desires in our life. You know, we want to eat a certain type of food. We want to work out. We want to, do a lot of things. Those are just a lot of desires. But there should be a burning desire, a desire that you have that just you cannot put the fire out. And so for me, that burning desire was the Empower series. Now, I would tell you that it wasn't always the Empower series. When I was young, I went to play football, win the Heisman Trophy, start businesses, and be like a rich beach bum. That was a desire when I was younger. But as I grew up and this idea came to me, God knocking on my subconscious, asking me, hey, do I want more out of life? He gave me the idea of the Empower series. Really is a positive force in the world to really help people get clear on their purpose and not chase the physical things in this world, but their purpose, what their calling is. And through the manifestation of them pursuing their purpose, they will get the things that they desire in life. So that's inspiring them to thrive in every area. So whether it's your career, your family, your career, excuse me, I said that twice, your community, spiritual growth, whatever that might be. But this is an inside-out game. So he talks first about having a strong, burning desire to achieve your purpose in life. Then he says the importance of faith. And faith is really the substance of things, like the Bible says, it's the substance of things that are not seen, but it's the evidence of things that are not seen that's going to materialize. And you have to have faith in that. Everything that we see here now was in somebody's mind before. It was just an idea. It didn't exist. And then resources came together and it manifested the physical experience that we're having. So the importance of faith is essential in overcoming obstacles and working through and doing the work when we don't feel like it and we're not seeing the results. And that's critical to success. The third point is the role of specialized knowledge. So we are all geniuses. We're all geniuses in something, right? It's a myth to think that you're only a genius if you have a high IQ. We are all geniuses in something. We all have a skill, and what we're doing is closely related to what it is we are a genius in. So it's always important to really identify our area of expertise. And we have to identify that and pursue it and become an expert in that. So it doesn't matter what it is. You can be an expert in being a parent. You can be an expert in being a teacher. You can be an expert in being a doctor, or architect, or an artist. There are experts in every field, everything that's needed in sanitation. So whatever it is, I would say really become an expert and identify your area of expertise and become a specialist in that. So that's the third point. The fourth point is the power of imagination. Your imagination is real. As I said before, everything that existed in an idea form first. And after that idea was in someone's head, they took action based on faith. They attracted resources. Some people have the resources. If you don't have the resources in your bank account, it's in somebody else's bank account. So you've got to take that idea, that image that you have in your mind, and you have to believe in the truth of that regardless of your current circumstances. So for me, growing up in South Central LA, I didn't see a lot of wealth around me, and I didn't see a lot of behaviors that I needed to model if I was going to achieve my goal to go to college, get an academic scholarship or athletic scholarship, and achieve my goals. So I had to believe in my vision regardless of my current circumstances. So I would say the same to anybody else that's out there. If you're mired in debt and you want to get out of it and have a free life without this burden of debt, but it's hard for you to see that because you have so much. You've got to believe in your imagination and have faith in it so you can work through and do what's necessary in the midst of your current circumstances. That is probably the most hardest thing you will have to do, is believing in the truth of your vision that's been given to you when your current circumstances are contrary to it. So I know I'm going through this quick, but down in the description of the video is a link to Dr. Dennis Kimbro's book, and we can go deep dive in this at another time. But the power of imagination. The other important step, this is step number 5, is the importance of persistence. Persistence is, success often requires persistence in overcoming challenges. So don't let your failures or your hardship discourage you. 6 is the value of mastermind group. So the mastermind group was introduced by Dr. Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill said, this is a mastermind group. You get people of like minds together to think of an idea or to think of a solution to a problem. And he says that when more than one person comes together, then we have access to a higher level of thinking that can solve solutions. So if you're a Christian, we want more people come together and really pray and focus on Jesus Christ and the Lord, then we have access to the Holy Spirit, right? So the value of a mastermind group applies in anything. So like-minded individuals coming together will provide support, inspiration, and new perspectives that can help you solve problems. The power of making a decision. Once you decide, then there's no other thoughts about it. You just go ahead and go forward with it. Don't waffle or be on the fence. So the power of decisions, the importance of sex transmutation. So the importance of sex transmutation. So what is that, right? So that's the concept originally introduced by Napoleon Hill. And his concept is that sexual energy can be channeled into creative, productive endeavors. So you got to be careful with that, because sexual energy can take you someplace else as well. But he says if you use the core of that energy and direct it and control it productively, it can be used in a creative way to help you achieve your goals. You guys might want to read more about that. Number 9 is the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is a powerful tool that can be harnessed harnessed to achieve goals. And the way you tap into your subconscious mind is through positive affirmations and visualization. So part of my morning routine is waking up in the morning and really visualizing what it is that I want to achieve. And it's more than just a vision board. It's really visualizing me succeeding. We can see that athletes visualize themselves making a 3-point shot, the winning game shot, or catching that pass for football, or crossing the finish line. And that's all normal. But can we see ourselves, really visualize ourselves achieving our goals? So that is a habit that's very, very important. Being able to see yourself achieving your goal and visualizing that. And then also saying things that are positive, because we probably have thousands of thoughts within a day, and many of them are negative, and we tend to hold on to them because there's so much negativity around us. But if we're able to control that by being aware of our thoughts and then switching our thoughts to a positive thought when we catch ourselves, that's a part of using positive affirmations. Then the last part is the brain. Understanding how the brain works and using it to optimize our decision-making process and our thinking. So the 10 takeaways from Think and Grow Rich, and it's a very enriching book. It allows you to really look at the control that we have internally and how this is an inside-out game in the midst of all of the oppressive and negative things that are around us. But the 10 steps are the power of desire. That's step number 1. The importance of faith, the role of specialized knowledge, the power of imagination, the importance of persistence, the value of mastermind groups, the power of decision, the importance of sex transmutation, the subconscious mind, and the brain. So, the last thing I want to share with you, because we're not going to talk for a long time, but before I move on to that, if you have any thoughts or comments about what I've shared so far, please jot them in the chat here. So there's a dialogue, because your thoughts shared with someone else can just deepen the points that I'm making. What I want to talk about now, though, as you guys continue to chat, is this whole concept that when you become 60, I know when I was younger and I thought of in the 60s, it was like old. And I was thinking, oh man. I remember when I turned 50, I was thinking, man, I lived half a century. And I thought, man, half a century? I've got less than half my life left if I'm not going to live to 100. Because all of my brother, my father, and my grandfather on my dad's side passed away between 62 and 66. So I'm not sure how much longer I've got, and nobody knows. So you can go to a bank and you can go add up all of the money you've got and to the dollar, to the penny, but you can't add up how much time you've got left. So when Dr. Dennis Kimbro mentioned the entrepreneurial question is, what are you going to do with the amount of time that you have left? It created a sense of urgency to me. And I looked at, in my 50s and even now in my 60s, all of the things that I want to accomplish. The fact that I don't have probably as many years in the future as I do in the past, I can still accomplish great things. And so I ran across this article that identified 8 habits that if we apply now can make sure that we accomplish much more in our 60s and beyond than we could in the years before. And these are principles that you'll find them in the Bible, you'll find them in any book that you read, but I think it's always good to hear them again because repetition is the mother of skill. And the first principle here is being a lifelong learner. So our brains are a muscle. As we get older, muscles might become atrophy, but they might become less dense. But if you don't use it, you're going to have much more atrophy. So our mind is just like that. So being a lifelong learner is being curious at all times. It's looking at not just going to school and getting advanced degrees, but it's reading books, going to podcasts like this, going to workshops, and always learning new things, learning new languages, learning new concepts, new technology. So there's always something to learn. And so always being curious. So for me, I've just started taking when I first graduated in 1983, I got my real estate license, but I let that go. Now I just started a program this week to get my real estate license. But I also have a degree in business administration. I got in the process of getting a master's in public administration. So I'm always looking at new things. My area of expertise is financial management and empowerment and personal development. So I'm always reading and learning new things about the mind, or the new things about how to communicate. And so the first habit to do more in your 60s and beyond than in your younger years is to always be a lifelong learner. So that's step number 1 of 8. Step number 2 is to prioritize your health and fitness. We say that all the time. You've probably heard your health is your wealth. Well, I know that I met one of my clients, which was an attorney, and he was older, in his 70s or so, but he was like so healthy. And I was just amazed to where, like, what's your secret? How do you stay healthy? And he says that he schedules his workouts like a meeting with a client. And that resonated with me because we will go to work at a certain time and we'll go to meetings at a certain time, but do we have on our calendar a workout? Some people do, and that's great. But I know that I've kind of become a little bit lax. When I stopped playing football and I stopped making money from working out, I didn't give it the same priority as I did when I was younger. But now, as I get older, keeping in shape physically is the key, because that's going to be the ability, that's going to give us the energy to accomplish the things that our purpose is to create, right, or to achieve. So you have to be in good health, and that is more than just working out. That's actually eating well, that's getting our rest, drinking our fluids, and it would also include mental health as well. So second priority is prioritize health and fitness. The third is practice mindfulness daily. And life is fast. There's a book that I read that's called Slowing Down to the Speed of Life. And the premise of that book is that when we start getting anxious and we start thinking that things are happening fast, or we lose track of time and things are like we're running out of time, it's like life is always going on at the same pace. It's just our mind that's speeding up. And so the book that's entitled is so keen, Slowing Down to the Speed of Life, is just stepping back, breathing, and being present of the current moment. Because in the current moment, there's no anxiety about the future and there's no regret about the past because it's not with us today. And so being mindful and practicing that mindfulness every day is a third habit that is critical to really make sure that we are going to accomplish more in the future. It's slowing down to the speed of life, being here now, breathing, and one way of doing that is meditation. Another way of doing that is journaling, doing some level of self-care just to slow down and being mindful of the present moment. So that's step number 3. The fourth is fostering strong social connections. They always say that as people get older, or when you look at people who are in nursing homes, people who have family coming in to meet with them, or if they're socializing with other people, they have a longer longevity. So the important thing here is to foster social connections. What I do is I have a group of friends from high school that we all text each other. We have a group text. I also have a group from college. I also have close friends from college. I also have a group, since I'm in the fraternity, the Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, we have a group text for all our frat brothers as well. And in this community, the Empower series, the way I look at this is that everything that we do in the Empower series is really a reminder to me. It's a reminder of me to stay focused on my vision and to focus on my goals and to believe in the manifestation of my image of what I want to achieve regardless of my current situation. And I know that I'm not alone in that. So the Empower series is a community of people. So this is a social connection. And so I would ask you to do the same thing. If you have an interest in any field, see what kind of social connection you can connect with your family, your friends, the Empower series. But fostering strong social connections is another attribute. So the first 4 is being a lifelong learner, prioritizing your health, practicing mindfulness, and fostering social connections. The 5th is embracing failure. So I talked to you about me jumping ship in 2018 to do the Empower series full time. That did not work. So that can be looked at as a failure, but it's not, it's a setback. It's more of I learned from that. I had to go back to work in 2020. I'm now focusing on the Empower series again, and I'm bringing the things that I've learned from that failure, or, if we want to give it a different terminology, I didn't achieve my expected result. So what did I learn from that? And so we got to change the strip on the negativity around failure and really embrace it, because we learn the most when we don't get what we anticipate. And so embracing failure is the 5th habit. The 6th habit is cultivating an attitude of gratitude. I talked to you earlier about waking up and being grateful that we even woke up because we're already winning. And if we think about just the things that we're grateful for, we will be busy all day thanking God for everything that we have around us. So whether it's the big things, the comfort of living in a home and having a job and being able to make money to pay our bills, or even if that's not where we are today, having people who care for us. Today, what I'm experiencing is a lot of people wish me happy birthday on social media, and my family calling me a lot of text messages. I greatly appreciate that. I've reconnected with a college friend of mine that I haven't talked to in 42 years. And so there's a lot of people who are reaching out and calling me that I'm so grateful for that. But it could be the little things, the fact that, hey, it's a sunny day, it's a bright day, or, again, as simple as we being alive. So how do you foster an attitude of gratitude? One way to focus on that in the midst of all this negativity is to keep a gratitude journal. So waking up every day and just writing down at least 3 things, if not more, that you're grateful for. That might be hard to do, but be consistent with it, persistent, and it will change your life. It will allow you to look at things on the brighter side. No matter how things are coming out, there's always something that you can learn from. And then the other, number 7, is finding purpose and passion. And so that is, finding one's purpose and passion is a cornerstone to living a fulfilling life. It really is. And you might be asking, how do I find out what my passion is? I would tell you that you probably have been living your passion in everything that you do. And even if you have a job that you don't really like, somewhere in the core of that, there's a seed of that that's your passion. And it usually has to do with helping somebody else, inspiring somebody else, being a leader, because whether you know it or not, someone is watching you. They're watching you and your attitude and everything that you do. So you have an impact and an influence on someone. And if your passion is doing something creatively and making an impact on the world, individuals' lives, or whatever that might be, I would say continue to seek that out. If you don't feel like you have it, the way you find out what your passion is that you do something. You keep doing something until you find the feeling around what you're doing and you see the impact of it. And it may not come immediately, but you got to keep practicing it. So finding your passion and purpose is the 7th habit. And the last habit is practicing resilience. And that is the last habit. It's like no matter what you experience, don't quit. You get knocked down 7 times, get up 8, right? You got to cultivate this grit and this resilience to keep going in the midst of disappointment. Nothing in life nothing that's worth doing is ever going to be easy. It's going to take hard work, and you got to keep going. And you're going to have valleys, peaks and valleys. You're going to have a journey, and your journey is not going to be always smooth. If you look at anybody who's has achieved anything of any significance in life, they have gone through ups and downs, and they've had to work hard. So I know when I was going through my ups and downs with the Empower series, my mentor, who actually, helped me in starting the Empower series, told me, what makes you think you can do anything of great importance and not have hardship? And I had to think about that. So I just had to suck it up and work through it. So practicing resilience is really keeping the faith when things are not going the way you would like it to be. And so this is a real quick podcast on my birthday, but these are some of the thoughts that I had today as I was reflecting on my journey and the first day of my 63rd year. I do want to say this, though. I am really full of gratitude and appreciation. The things that really make me feel a sense of gratitude is when I'm around friends and family, when there's food around. I am not drinking alcohol anymore because that just slows me down. That's a whole nother conversation. But I will tell you that what I'm really grateful for, the biggest thing that I'm grateful for is the team that I have at AE Media Group. So Alejandro, Edgar, Jose, Edward, they do so much that are behind the scenes, but the reason you're looking at this podcast and we look so good on social media is because of all of the work that they do. So I have a tremendous amount of gratitude for them. We are a nonprofit organization, and we have a board. We have board members. So we have Carla Romney Kirkland. We have Deborah White. We have Malcolm. We have Malcolm. Why am I like all of a sudden? Wow! I'm having a senior moment here. Malcolm Williams. Okay, and D. Ellington Malcolm. I'm sorry, man. I always think about Malcolm Mayo, but it's Malcolm Williams. So our board members, again, we have 5 board members. I want to thank them. We have an advisory board, Edward Butler. We have Dion Brown. We have Sherry Cooper. And we also had other board members and advisory members that have been in the past. Much appreciation. We have our donors and our volunteers that I'm so grateful for. Our donors, our biggest donor has been Comerica Bank, but we have other donors and partners and all the Empower Series speakers that's come together. I have a tremendous amount of gratitude for all of the people that have helped me, take the Empower Series to where we are today after 13 years. So I share that with you because today I spend a lot of time just reflecting on all that I have to be grateful for. And these are just some of the people that I've mentioned. I can't believe I forgot Malcolm's last name, but that is what it is, right? I'm 63 years old. But I share that with you only because if you sit back and think of all of the people that you have in your life that love you and care for you, that should give you the strength to practice these habits and to give you the resilience to push through any difficulty, knowing that there's a community of people that love you and support you that can help you achieve your goal. So I hope that you have love you guys. I love you guys. Hey, and I would tell you this in closing. The last book I'll share with you is my aunt wrote a book called Seasons of the Journey, the biography of Dr. James Frank. And that is her husband, who's done a lot of great things. But I share that book with you only because when you look at what's possible, we all have a message in us. And our story is our message. So a life worth living is worth recording. My aunt took the time to document her journey with her husband. And it's so appropriately entitled Seasons of the Journey, because we're all going through a journey and we have seasons. So whether it's a happy season, a sad season, whatever season, just continue to go through it. You can achieve your goals, whatever you envision. So I want to thank you guys. I love you. You guys did this. I love you. Thank you for watching and joining the Empower Series and making it what it is today. And until we meet again, be empowered and inspired to thrive.